Merry meet and welcome to the general reading, daily tarot reading for all signs for today, the 19th of September 2024. This is Ariel Gatoga, and I'm today reading with the CBD Tarot of Marseille, and I'm going to purify with this Vervain by Fragonard. 3 sprays in this large room is more than sufficient. You can find links to purchase these products right in the video description of this video on my YouTube channel. Let's see what's in the cards for everybody today. Starting out with the King of Swords, followed by the 9 of Coins, and then the Ace of Cups. Well, this leaving the King of Swords in the past is good. But remember that the past, when we don't resolve it, when we don't let go of it, it's not really in the past. We're just sort of artificially putting it there. You see how he's glancing at your prosperity? It's like, okay, all the problems that you were having look like they might be turning around. You're in this, at least energetically, you're in a space where you can turn things around. Things are being resolved for you in a wonderful way, just a satisfying, fabulous way. Even whether or not you see the results of that, you can kind of feel it. You can sense it. Things are turning around for you. And then moving into even greater prosperity, which is all-encompassing type of prosperity. Yeah, it does include the finances, but it includes all the other stuff that makes you happy. Just this never-ending fount of blessings. So but he's got his eye on that. So, what does the ego do? The ego self-destructs. That's its whole job. And the cool thing about understanding that isn't that, oh, now I have to protect myself against the ego. I got to run away from the ego. I've got to outsmart the ego. No, you just don't listen to the ego. It's just nothing. It's really nothing. It's just old, like I say, it's like watching commercials or something on TV. You just don't pay attention. That's where you go and get a snack or something. You just let it alone. And, if you get this, if you get fear responses about your past, or you're worried about that old things that you've done in the past are going to come back to bite you, all that stuff, don't make it real. Don't get all involved in it. Don't start ruminating over it. That's the lesson here by having this King of Swords in the past. What we want instead of having the King of Swords in the past is we just want to dissolve our involvement with the King of Swords altogether. Right? So the King of Swords is the part of our own personality that really is destructive, and self-destructive in whatever way works. And it's usually when it gets to the King of Swords, that part of the ego is usually just unrelenting, doesn't even try to hide or be sly or cunning about it. It's just, just mean and just awful. And I noticed this myself today when I was doing something just sort of not that big of a deal, and I think I dropped something or made a mistake. I don't even remember what happened now. But what I do remember is this, you are so stupid kind of energy. And I said to myself, I am not going to let myself be contemptuous of myself anymore. I just caught it. I'm like, I can't believe how much contempt I just noticed for myself. What was that? So just noticing that took the wind out of its sails. It's just the awareness in and of itself was all it took, because once you're aware of something, you make better choices just naturally. It's just sort of baked into the way consciousness works. So when you notice that, don't just run away from it or think that you have to fight against it or any of that. Just make a new choice. Just make a new decision, but do notice it. It's so important to notice it. Don't just stuff the ego back and think it, because then what we do when we do that is we start thinking that it's this powerful monolith or something out there that's that's where the whole Satan myth comes from. It's just like this big evil power outside of ourselves that's constantly tempting us or whatever. It's just thoughts. It's just ideas, and you can choose what thoughts you want to think. So just disregard it, but don't think you're disregarding it by running away from it. Because it's there. It's definitely there. And when you notice that it's there and you don't agree with it and you don't react or respond to it, then it doesn't have any power over you because it's not a thing. It's just a habit. It's a habit of thinking. Now, you know how to give up habits. You just notice them and you make a choice. You notice them, you make a choice. You notice them, you make a choice. You backslide, it's okay. I can notice it and make a choice again. It doesn't matter. You just recognize all that it is a habit of thinking, and you can change a habit. I'd rather have these habits, right? I'd rather have the habit that brings me all the prosperity I want. I'd rather have the habit of having all this joy and abundance. And that's what the universe wants for you too. And that's why it's so much easier ultimately for us to have the joy in life than it is to have the pain once we recognize how life works. Because this is the will of the universe. This is believe it or not, unlike this world, the real world, the universe, the infinite intelligence works in such a way that it's only bringing more life, only bringing more joy, only bringing more abundance, more prosperity, more health, more whatever, more good. That's just normal. And to thwart that and to block that takes a great deal of effort. And that's why everything to do with the ego is tense. Everything to do with the ego is tense. It requires tension to engage with the ego because you're engaging with a habit of thought that is trying to block the natural order of things. And we've been doing it for so long that we think the natural order of things is the ego, and it's a miracle when something works out for us. And that's totally backwards. That's the opposite of the truth. Okay, let's see. We've got this beautiful Knight of Wands, beautiful Queen of Wands, and this, of course, 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands is the best that the King of Swords right now can come up with because you're doing pretty well. You're doing very, very well. You've got your creativity is really starting to flow again. It seems like it was maybe blocked or thwarted a little bit, but now it's flowing again. And that's one of the reasons why you're feeling better about things and why things are going to start coming to you and why things are starting to resolve in beautiful, wonderful ways beyond your fondest dreams. Things are now resolving for you. Really beautiful, beautiful things. And since that's happening, the best that this King of Swords can come up with is making you feel overwhelmed and burdened. That's the best it can come up with right now. Before, it came up with all kinds of fear and trying to sabotage all of your success and your relationships and all of that stuff. Before it had a lot more tools at its disposal. Right now, since you're in the flow better, you're not as apt to make choices along the lines of this King of Swords, which is such a destructive aspect of the ego. All the ego is destructive, but this is just like right in your face, blatant, just annihilation type energy. And you're just like not taking that bait right now. And so it's the best thing it can come up with is burdening you. And remember that the ego is genius. It's just evil genius. It's just your own genius working against you. It's not that the ego is not smart, because it's very smart. It's just that it's insane. Okay? It's insane thinking. It's our own creativity that it is being used against ourselves. And again, this is a habit that we have formed. So what its goal is, well, if I can get you overburdened and feeling tired and feeling like it's too much of a good thing, then you're going to be weak enough so that you can make some ego choices along with me. So then we can make the whole thing topple. So it's trying to topple your success from the point of view that it understands that right now it can't deal with you as directly as it could before, because you're doing too well. So my point in telling you that is when you start feeling overburdened by things, even quote, too much of a good thing, that's just a ploy. It's just a ploy of the ego to try to get you back into feeling bad about yourself. And it's just taking it one little notch at a time. So you want to, the only reason why you have to worry about that and be aware of that is so that you don't fall for it. If you start feeling overburdened, notice it immediately. Don't just be a martyr and say, oh, I can take it, I can do it. No. Immediately when you feel like too much is happening for you, you feel too overwhelmed, you feel too tired, whatever, immediately you recognize that and you say, I cast this burden on the spirit within me and I go free. You let yourself know that. And then you do whatever you have to do to let go of the burden. Take a day off, go take rest, take a walk, have somebody else do it. Recognize that a lot of this stuff is unnecessary. There's no part of the divine design that includes you feeling burdened, even by, quote, good things, because that does look like good things. But, like I said, your creativity is really flowing, things are moving for you, and so it's going to be very easy to say, well, I can take one more project, I can do one more thing, and then pretty soon it's just like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so overburdened, I know it's good stuff, but... and then all of a sudden, then the King of Swords says, see? and then it gets you to self-destruct. So don't fall for that. It's a sneaky little ploy, and you're not going to fall for it. And even if you did fall for it, just so you know, even if you did fall for it and things topple, big deal. It still can't win. Because you can make another choice and another decision and resolve that. But you don't need to go through all that drama. Just nip it in the bud as soon as you notice it. As soon as you start feeling that sort of knot in your stomach where you're feeling overburdened, like something is too much, acknowledge it. This is too much. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to cast this burden on the spirit within me and go free. I'm going to let go of this. I refuse to feel overburdened. And then you go back to feeling peaceful and creative and enthusiastic about things. And then that flow starts increasing again and again. More money, more prosperity, more joy, more success on all levels. And of course, that's going to make the ego want to destroy. You're not going to fall for it. You're not going to fall for that self-sabotage. You're going to notice it when it's in its infancy, and you're going to stop it in its tracks. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. We will be back for another daily reading for all signs tomorrow. Until then, blessed be.